Welcome to Crescent City with your hosts Natalie Jean and Jackie Zabrowski. Oh, it's hard. It's hard out here for a chimera because, you know, you gotta have the bird hands on, but your wings are getting in the way, and it's just like, ooh.
I have to point out a very fun and interesting Mandela effect.
Oh, yeah?
So, this is not to put you on blast. This is also in all of the art for C-Rings. So many different people have given him wings. He doesn't have wings.
Whoa. But they say in the wiki that he's got wings. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because I looked up chimeras. And chimeras have wings. Or is he a half chimera? But I guess I wouldn't be making bird noises. I'd be making noises.
Slightly bigger than a terrier. He has a wiry golden coat, and his long tail is tufted with dark fur at the end of like a lion's. He has little ears, dark eyes, and a round fuzzy head. His scrunched up face is more like a dog than anything. He has wrinkles of fat and longer hair. At his neck, that's not quite a mane. He has two big paws that end like talons. His body is stout with and little rounded, muscled shoulders and pointy, sharp teeth. You've still crushed it. I'm like, look, literally, even in the picture on Wiki, he has wings in the picture.
Oh my God.
That's what I'm saying, Mandela effect, because she never describes him as having wings, but so many different people have drawn him. But maybe it's because of full chimera in mythology on Earth.
Yes, so maybe it's just different.
He's not quite the same kind of chimera.
But also a chimera does also have a snake's head. So, and we know that Syrinx doesn't have a snake's head. So I wonder if SJM was like, all right, I don't want all that. I just want him to kind of be a lion, but a little bit different.
Yeah.
And I guess that's just what I am. But today, I put the wings on.
I love it.
I already purchased the wings. So I'm going to wear the wings.
I think it's great.
Thank you.
I just think it's an interesting phenomenon. Everybody did it.
The only main issue is with the bird hands, can't look at the computer.
I mean, I do feel like you don't need to wear the bird hands.
But if I'm already not, I guess if I'm already wearing wings, it's like, what character am I?
I knew who you are.
What character am I?
What is she, chimera?
Thank you. Think of all the chimeras out there. I guess I should have a snake's head, and then you'd be even more scared of me.
What was she mare for?
Oh, God. This is just, I'm having flashbacks to when I was a Sphinx. These are different wings than when I was wearing for the Sphinx.
Oh, I agree. I think you did a great job.
Thank you. Thank you. I was complaining, though, earlier because I purchased this. This is a men's costume. Mm-hmm. And I purchased a medium because I was like, oh, I'm sure it'll be really big. And it was like, it fits my legs. It fits my hips. It looks like it was made for me. And also, what man is shaped like me usually? If you're it should be then a unisex costume.
I'm not making a judgment call, but was it made cheaply?
Ouch.
Because
How dare, no, I watched them by hand make this lion's outfit. And I said, Taita, I said, show my bejeans in it.
I'm gonna guess they weren't doing really they weren't really checking measurements that much when they put it together.
This is a first. I didn't know you could offend me, but I guess I'm offended. It's like added on to the wings pile over here. You could have said it before we started recording, Natalie.
No, it's not an insult.
What was I for? Cause I.
Oh, no. Wait, on an actual side note, not in the show, do you want me to not have said that? Okay.
No.
Okay, I didn't know if I actually heard
Oh, no.
Because I thought it was cool.
No, I think it's great.
Okay, great.
No, I appreciate that, though.
Where are we?
I don't know how to feel. That's where we were.
I think it's really fun that the gang's all here today. The whole cast of the basement of Griffith's Antiquities is
Look
here.
at us, just a gaggle of coworkers. Leba. Although I know that you and Lele are like really starting to find the friendship that Lele always wanted. But let's be real, who was always there for that bitch? Right here.
Oh, of
Arr.
course.
Right fucking here. Syrinx is always there. And maybe he doesn't have wings, all right? Maybe he looks at Hunt and wishes that he could have that kind of freedom. And just think maybe somebody cut his wings off,
Well, we do know that he can teleport,
which is pretty cool.
except probably in the basement of the library because there's a bunch of wards and charms and stuff on it.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna probably nap instead.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's mostly what Syrinx does in the basement.
I should have cut out the tits so that everyone could still see my tits.
Mm,
Everybody's always saying that about every Chimera outfit. It's like, how do I show more breast in this?
Getting really deep into the erotic side of furry world because
You're right.
not all furries are doing it for sex reasons.
No, you're damn right. And not all people that put on bird claw gloves expect to immediately start hand sweating inside of this.
Really?
This
I feel like
has
that's
no give
No.
whatsoever.
I wouldn't have guessed that it would.
In case anybody was curious, my hand is covered in a sludge
I'm
already.
confused. Okay, so there's 4 claws on this. Where do which fingers have to be smushed together?
I was doing this one.
The
I was
two
doing that
middle.
one. Yeah, the 2 middle, and so I get extra fuck you. Extra fuck you.
Aw,
My bird.
that's cute.
Thank you. I'm going to take them off, though, so that I'm not just sitting here thinking about them sliding slowly off my hands.
I feel like that's probably for the best. Just
Yeah.
you don't need to wear them.
Should I put on my lion's paws? Because the lion's paws are attached to the costume, thank God. I
do.
actually think I look very cute as a little lion.
You do. You look adorable.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you.
I feel like you might need your hands,
All right, fine. I let them free.
but I like that you have 3 different hand options for this.
Yeah,
day.
but also all of them take away from my slime.
Yeah, how are you going to
And
do slime with paws on?
slime comes first, then comes marriage.
You should try to do the slime with the
Sex.
claws on.
Oh, with the claw. I'm worried that it would get, because my problem is sometimes what they don't tell you about slime is that you'll be playing with it and you're not paying attention, and sometimes it gets stuck in your hair. And then you got to rip out your hair. Apparently you can get it out with like conditioner and stuff. But I've also learned some textures stick to the slime and take your slime.
Of course.
So I'm scared of using it with the birds, because then I don't want to ruin my slime.
What was slime made for?
What was slime made for? And I think it was this. Gripping.
Punching.
Just desperate gripping.
All right, guys.
I guess we got to go back to Griffin Antiquity. Come on, coworkers.
You gotta-
Let's all go to the workplace. Let's all go to the workplace and have ourselves a read. Although I don't know if Syrinx is reading anything.
No, and also Bryce does have snacks down there, so
Yes.
you could just do the original song.
All right, all right. Well, I
But
guess
just
we'll go
hold
get some
on to your
snacks.
britches, though. Grab them panties, because we're about
Whoa.
to get into a lot of information.
I don't know if you know this, Natalie, but chimeras don't wear panties. Sometimes as a chimera, you got a free ball.
Wow.
I have underpants on.
Yeah.
I don't know where this costume
That'd be
has
weird,
been.
though, if the chimera had underwear on,
That's what I'm saying.
connected to its bones under its fur.
Underneath the fur, yeah, that, or you're just having to like wrap a diaper around it every day, which, do you want to deal with that? I imagine I'd take pretty big dukes.
Okay, this is really derailing. So we're with Bryce in the gallery library, at the beginning of chapter 76.
Yes.
Poring over books as she usually is. She's taken another Archesian amulet from Jesiba's safe, knowing that Jesiba is too busy to notice. So Jesiba apparently has a stockpile of these 3-4 million gold mark pieces of jewelry.
I mean, I guess when you get them on sale, you just get the whole gaggle. Oh, I almost knocked over my coffee. And that would have been hilarious.
That would have been, yeah, that was what I was going to say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But we don't really know that much about the Archesian ambulance at this point, but it does seem as though it's meant as some kind of powerful.
Like a protection.
It kind of seems that way, but we haven't really learned too much
No,
about
but
them.
it is very expensive, so I do know it's not just your average necklace.
That's true. So she has taken another one because the last one, Sandriel, melted in the lobby, like the cotton rag she is.
Yeah.
And she hopes also in this moment, Bryce is down in the, basement. She is thinking about how she hopes Jesiba is too busy to notice a lot of things that are going on right now. Bryce is in that phase after kind of a breakup where she's kind of just letting herself go.
Yeah, nothing really matters anymore.
She has barely left Griffin's. She doesn't want to spend time alone in her apartment in the silence. She's also just taken to wearing gym clothes to work, which, as we know, Jesiba would not be approving of. She usually has to dress up really fancy for work.
But I will say I appreciate that you're giving such a great Bryce vibe today, Nat, because you've got the gym clothes on, but you still have the full Faye face of makeup, and you look great.
It is because I was wearing it for another thing before this, but thank you.
No, I think that you did it on purpose because I do kind of feel like even though she's letting herself go, I kind of feel like Bryce would be like wearing gym clothes, but like still sadly like put on a full face.
Like full beat.
Yeah, just to like, not want to give it all. Like you don't want to throw it all away.
Yeah, no, I usually wear makeup for myself.
Yes.
I don't really wear it for like sexual enticement. I like wearing makeup.
Yeah, makes me feel good about myself.
Also, I gotta say,
whoa, you comfy?
Well, she has pink sneakers on.
And you've got pink sneakers on. Look, everyone, look at her sneakers. They are pink. We see them. And you look great.
Okay, here we go. Get back down there, leg. There we go.
Very impressive, though. I certainly can't get that foot up here. Not right now. Not wearing this costume.
I don't think I could either if I was wearing that costume. It seems like a bit of a hindrance.
Yeah, it's like barely Velcroed onto my body, and if I move too much, I'm worried, oops, my bosom pop out. So I think that's why I was talking about my breasts earlier.
It seems like there are some documentaries about that.
Oh, would you show me some?
Not in the workplace.
Okay.
So,
but at Griffin Antiquity, like, I feel like you would show Syrinx a little bit of porn.
Ew. No, Syrinx is a baby.
But also babies, enjoy the human form. Don't show porn to babies, everybody. Oh, Emma! What is happening?
She tried to bail on that conversation.
I understand. It was getting dicey.
All right, baby girl, you stay right there. Okay, we got her back. She's also canceled all the client meetings, and I support her in these choices. Like, live comfortably in this moment.
Yes.
Don't worry about work. Sometimes work's not the most important thing on earth.
I don't understand, Natalie.
Well, we have to have a conversation.
I don't understand.
So she's been like eating down there. She's like takeout. It is full breakup zone. She's got like takeout everywhere, and it's just not really living at 100 right now.
Yeah. Well, it's somebody's 100. It just depends on if it's hers or not.
Yeah, I mean, it does sound fun as hell.
I know. Kind
sounds great.
Yeah.
But she is not doing great. She doesn't feel good, obviously. She's worried about Hunt, and she barely feels concern about her own like future or the consequences of what she's doing in the store because Jesiba is cruel and beautiful.
God, she's beautiful.
She wants out though. Bryce is done. She's like putting applications in. She's like, let her be pissed. Let her fire me. Although I would be scared more of being like transfixed into like a creature or something like that.
Right.
But she's quiet quitting is what she's doing right now.
We've all been there before.
So she just like let the cards fall where they may. She's looking over the books right now. It's not anymore to find information about the Horn like it had been, or the Crystallos. She is now trying to find any sort of loophole to free Hunt in all of the legal books and just rights and things like that. Things
It
that she
makes
could
sense.
present.
Yes.
Which, again, they're not playing a fair game, so I don't think she's going to be able to find anything.
No, it doesn't really matter if you've got the proof or the receipts. I don't think they really care at this point.
They just
But-
would make, like, they just, like, poof it away. They'd be like, oh, I guess it never existed.
Doesn't
Sorry.
exist. It does make sense, though, that she's looking down there, because I feel like just like a simple Google search, I don't think is going to do it in this case. Like, I think
No.
you do got to go to the special books and good on her.
Yeah. Maybe she's trying to use, like, her Fae privileges to find a way that the Fae would be like, I
Yes.
as the Autumn
Yes.
King's princess, something like that. And it is also incredibly tedious. It's going through legalese books, and she's still trying, but it's very, very
Yikes.
boring. She and Jesiba are reading in the moment of the chapter through another row of dry legal paragraphs when she notices the knock in his giant tank on the other side of the wall
Uh-oh.
starts to become active, almost looking gleeful, as though it's excited.
Syrinx growled. Not at the tank, at the green carpeted stairs. Casual footsteps thudded. Bryce was instantly standing, reaching for her phone. A pair of boots, then dark jeans, and then snow white wings, an unfairly beautiful face. Micah.
Well,
Fuck. Yeah, that's a big ol' F right there.
So that's bad news, probably.
Yeah.
Also,
God, especially when you're in the middle of like your post breakup funk of like, please don't make me deal with other things.
oh yeah, just government things.
Yeah, it's like I
dealing with-
don't care.
like doing your taxes,
Bleh, who cares?
showing up for court. Ugh.
Ugh.
Though she has 1,000 reasons to fear this unexpected visit, her first instinct is to panic over what he is walking into. So yeah, the idea of Micah being there is not pleasant. She's
No.
afraid, but more than anything, she knows this library is supposed to be a secret.
Uh-oh.
There's a reason that Jesiba puts wards over it, that very
Uh-oh.
few people know it even exists.
Oh no.
And now this archangel, the government, is walking into it, and she is like, what do? I need to end this. I need to get him upstairs. I
Yeah.
need to, what actions do I need to take to mitigate the situation?
Not only knows what it is, where it is, but also how to get inside of it. Because you know it's warded, so it's like he must. Ugh, it's creepy.
I think in this moment, she might realize and understand that Micah can get through any of the wards, and he's
Pretty
just
powerful.
always just pretending
Yeah.
like he can't. So these books are contraband, if you'll recall. He seems vaguely amused as he reaches the lower landing, telling her he came in because the door was open.
Mm.
Sure. Bryce, attempting to maintain her cool, offers to sit with him upstairs while she phones for Jesiba, trying to be not, trying to maintain this like air of normalcy so that maybe he will also do that. Where she just goes, oh, did you want, hey, I'll sit you upstairs and we'll call Jesiba. Like, not acting like total panic mode is happening.
Which good for her, because again, I am not very good at hiding my emotions. I don't know what I would do. I think I just burst into tears. He's like, no, I'm not here. Don't look at me, please.
I think you could actually. I think in that moment you would like
Have some kind of
figure it out.
self-preservation.
Yes, I think you would. So, of course, he's not interested. He's not there to talk about buying art as his gaze sweeps over the rows of books. He doesn't seem surprised by the books, however. She tries to swallow her panic again as she casually asks him if she can show him some stuff upstairs, and he can kind of just tell her what he's looking for.
Micah folded his wings and turned to her.
What I'm looking for?
He pinned her with those icy eyes.
I'm looking for you.
No, come on. No, come on.
Feelings of dread much is what I wrote. We cut over to the same moment with Hunt. So now we're at his POV. He is at the summit. If you'll recall, the big old summit of all of the veneer is happening, which is just it's just a charade.
Band's getting back together, though. Gotta feel it. Gotta feel the rhythm. Feel the ride.
That's what you think's happening at the summit?
Yeah,
Oh.
bobsledding.
Oh, bobsledding, of course. Oh, they're like working out whose people, which veneer
Which
are the
one's in
best
the
at
front?
bobsledding.
Yeah, which one goes in the back with the egg?
Mm.
And like, I think it's just like, and then like Dougie Doug shows up and nobody knows why. And they're like, we haven't heard from you in generations.
That's probably, you're right. I forgot about that part of the summit that they're
Thank you.
having. So he is still battling this. It's a slog. He is bored as hell. And he wants to try to be grateful because he knows his upcoming fate is not good.
Not
no
boredom.
bueno. It's not going to be boredom.
Mm-mm.
He looks, but it's still like you can't fight. If you're bored, you're bored. There's nothing you can do about it.
Nah.
He looks around the room and observes everyone at about the same level of interest as him. He's pretty sure Rune's actually asleep.
Also, it's got to be really difficult to have like something like a lightning power and not be able to, like, I'm even just thinking about me and my slime. Me and my slime. And I feel like if I had lightning power to entertain myself, I'd probably just sit there and like zap at
Oh, you think he would be
myself
like
or my things.
pointing his fingers at each other, just going like, zoop, zoop,
right?
zoop,
I feel like,
zoop.
especially if, in these kind of summits, you can't have your phone out. So you got to play with something. And it's not like they're bringing, I don't think it's a slime summit. I don't think they'd be pro slime at the summit. So you got to play with something. But he can't even do that because he's got his Gorsian shackles on.
Yep, he can't do anything, which is, again, my nightmare. The idea of
Boredom.
being like unable to entertain myself,
Nightmare.
horrible.
Go ahead, torture me.
At least
Don't
let
make me
like,
bored.
At least let me stretch or something.
Yeah,
Just
right?
having
Something.
to stand there. Ugh.
At least let me just slowly add things to a shopping cart on a website that I'm probably not going to buy. I'm
Oh,
just
yeah.
going to leave the tab open, but let me do it while I watch Love is Bland.
Love is bland.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what we're calling it because it's
whoa.
boring.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's all pointless anyway, because again, this doesn't actually, they have to do whatever the Asteri want. And so it's just all, an act, theater.
Right.
Sandriel is just going to wear them all down until they agree to whatever the Asteri wants them to do. Suddenly, in the middle of a droning argument, somebody's phone goes off. He's looks around and he's surprised to see that it's Jesiba's phone.
Exactly what I was just talking about. Like, it's also put it on Do Not Disturb. I'm just doing podcasts here and I've got my phone on Do Not Disturb. Like, you should probably have it on Do Not Disturb, but I don't think Jesiba really cares.
No, and also, please interrupt Sandriel. God.
Right?
So he is surprised to see it's Jesiba's phone, and she starts tapping away. She's reading something, and then she starts tapping away on her phone. And after just a moment of this, Jesiba interrupts Sandriel,
Whoa.
which Jesiba's one of the only people with enough tude to do that,
Big bitch move, dude.
telling her there's something important they all need to watch. Of course, Sandriel's irritated, but now her interest is piqued. So Jesiba asks Declan to link her phone to the massive screens that are all over the room, which is where the Asteri appeared earlier.
Declan's laptop was open a heartbeat later. He frowned at what popped up on the laptop, but then he hit a button and revealed dozens of different video feeds, all from Griffin Antiquities. In the lower right corner, in a familiar library, Hunt forgot to breathe entirely. Because remember last episode, we were all like, where's Micah? I know Micah must be.
It's so weird Micah's not there. Well, we
now
found him.
Everybody that's anybody at the summit knows where he is now.
So Hunt obviously terror is like running through him at this realization. So Bryce has managed to get a message to Jesiba in this moment whenever Micah has shown up down there. And now the room is watching what is playing out in Griffin's library basement, which is also big she's revealing a big secret to everybody. In that
Yeah,
moment. But
yeah.
you got to in this instance.
But also, I'm really glad that we're dressed the way that we're dressed this time because I really feel like we're in this together, Natalie.
I know. I think it's great we ended up unintentionally doing that.
Oh my God. It is the beauty of us never telling each other what costumes we're about to wear.
We try to. We're not doing it. We're not telling each other because it's fun when we end up accidentally being the same character.
Yeah, you guys remember when we were the Viper Queens? Yeah.
The Viper's Queen.
The Viper's Queen. Thank you. The Viper's Queen.
So even Sandriel in this moment seems shocked because we actually have no idea who's in cahoots here. We don't know what's happening. But Hunt is watching Sandriel seem to be genuinely in shock that Micah is in this basement.
But also very interesting that Sandriel's like, bitch, you don't know how to cover up those emotions yet, but I guess if you're that shocked, even an angel will show their cards.
Yeah, I do think that if it's enough of a surprise, you just kind of show it a little bit.
Yeah. You have a human interaction. Interesting, Sandriel.
Human's gross.
I know.
So he also hears her mutter that Micah told her he had a meeting to go to that morning. And so what the hell is this?
It is kind of funny for her to mutter that. Man, he said he
had a meeting.
He was going to a meeting.
Micah said he had a meeting.
Yeah. It does weirdly humanize an angel in an interesting way.
It's just, hapless.
Yes.
After just a moment, Declan has also managed to connect sound to the library. So I guess because Bryce is projecting this, he can get the sound, the audio from the basement as well. And Bryce can be heard all throughout the summit room, asking Micah if he'd like something to eat as she pours him wine. Before anyone comments anything, Rune is, he's jumping into action. He's angrily demanding an Ox unit head over to the library immediately to deal with this. Sandriel, being a professional bitch,
damn right,
snaps that having bad taste in females isn't a crime.
Oh, big bitch. She's a big angel bitch.
But you can also kind of gauge she's irritated that Micah was going behind her back to do something.
And lying to her.
Yeah.
Because it's if there's I know that nobody can trust the angels, but the angels should, I would assume, be able to trust each other.
Or, at least be
know the subterfuge.
Dastardly on the same side.
Exactly.
So after Sandriel makes that comment, even though Hunt's magic balls are in a vice, he can't help but let a growl out at the insult. The room watches helplessly as Bryce attempts to placate Micah's inquiries about what's going on in the basement here. He wants to know what she's been doing. She tells him, oh, she's just been down here reading, looking up stuff because Hunt's her friend.
I'm just a girl being a girl.
So he's noticed that she's going through law books and she doesn't really lie to him. She says, I'm trying to help Hunt. He's my friend. He mocks her for this, nodding to her loyalty of all of her friendships, even the dead friends who might be lying crack whores, which is
not okay, bro.
What he's insinuating. And mind you, this is all being viewed through the screens of the summit, and they're just all watching this play out through Hunt's eyes. Bryce seems to know better than to snap at him in that moment, even though he's insulting Danica intentionally. And she meekly tells him no one seems to know the full truth, so who knows if she is or not.
She is good in these moments. Bryce is very good with the mouth in these moments.
I mean, you'd have to, this is a dangerous person. He's
yeah.
You don't want to mess about with him.
Nah, dude.
So Hunt hears Amelie in the summit room suggest to Sabine they send a wolf pack over there to help, but Sabine shuts it down.
But also, okay, Amelie.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, now?
Amelie.
Interesting. Okay, fine.
They hear Micah taunt her with threats about having these books. So Micah is... He knows this stuff is down here, and he knows how dangerous it is. And so he's kind of teasing her, being like, I can kill you for this.
This seems like he's playing with his food before he eats it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. He's just trying to toy with her, really. and that the possessions of these books warrants a death penalty. He explains more to the readers, I think, than anything, so we know that these books are not supposed to be in the hands of anyone but the Asteri. So we're going to get a lot of like story exposition through this. They hold knowledge, these books, of ancient humans, the sciences, history, no citizens of Midgard are supposed to know about.
Interesting.
No, you don't want to trust anybody who tries to hide knowledge from you, right? Somebody who wants to burn books, somebody who wants to hide books.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you probably shouldn't be trusting those people.
Just saying. And these histories of this ancient world describe a world in which the Vanir didn't rule over the human beings. And then we watch the summit, watch Micah reveal some Midgard lore. Bryce acts dumb and he tells her that these books are what's left of the lost libraries of Parthos.
What?
We heard about the story of Parthos way back in chapter 34 when Brunt is looking for info on the Crystallos and they see that vase. So in that chapter, they bring up that Parthos is what most people believe is a myth, the way that we think about Atlantis, like the lost city.
You think Atlantis is a myth?
No.
I'm just saying the water, it gets bigger and the water, it gets smaller. And that's what it says in those books. And so that's why you don't need to go all the way to Parthos. Just ask me and I'll let you know.
I mean, I do feel like Syrinx does have a wealth of knowledge.
Right? I mean, obviously, like, it can't just be a teleportation thing. There's got to be so much more to Syrinx that if you just took a moment to look over at Syrinx for a second,
Whoa.
and maybe ask what Syrinx thought about the situation, maybe you'd learn a little bit more, and maybe I'd be helping you. But for now, I'm a fucking nap, like a little cat, but except I'm a lion.
And a dog, kind of.
And a dog, and...
kind of a pug.
Yeah.
It's cute.
But not a snake. There's no snake a part of me.
No, not technically with wings either.
Technically with wings, which is probably for the best because, like, these are kids' wings, and man, they made these real small. What, do kids not have big, broad, bustling shoulders like I do?
Some Ed did. As a child.
Ed did. Bruiser, they called him.
So yes, we heard about Parthos all the way back in chapter 34, and most people think Parthos is this myth, but Micah, he says, no, it is suppressed history. Bryce tries to nonchalantly play this off, saying, oh, this is a bedtime story for humans. And he laughs, retorting that she is wearing an Archesian amulet as she says this. That is the symbol of the priestesses of Parthos, you fool.
Oh.
Guardians. The priestesses were the guardians of the books of Parthos.
Dude.
And so she's wearing, and we don't actually know in this moment whether or not she realizes that. I don't think she does, though.
Yeah. Or at least she wasn't thinking about it recently.
Yeah. Grinning, he goes on to tell the tale of the humans' last stand 15,000 years ago. It took place right there in Parthos, and the humans lost. Most of their history, their books, burned with the loss. But those armies, they had gone in knowing that they were to be doomed. And they only did so to give the priestesses time to save a fraction of those precious books. And that's what now is sitting in the basement of Griffin Antiquities.
And it just makes Jesiba even more attractive to me. Like,
Fair.
just that story of just like
saving the books.
Be with me. And that's me as Jackie, not me as Syrinx, because I don't
Ew,
know
yeah.
what Syrinx wants. Like, I mean, earlier he was kind of hitting on Laba, I guess, but you know, you're small, I'm small. I think we can make something work. I'm looking at you, Lele.
I do feel like they're still not size compatible, though.
No, probably not. I don't want to rip her short.
Oh, don't. Also, I think if you tried to enter her, she would burn you. You know what I mean?
But maybe it's like a kind of like spice of life. You know what I mean?
Oh, like a lube? Like a...
Yeah.
Like a hot lube.
Yeah, hot lube.
I hate that shit.
You know, it gets it all warm it up.
You ever have those condoms that are
Warm it
supposed to
up.
like be temperature changing and stuff? No, thank you.
I guess it's more so just that I don't know what's on it. You know what I mean? And that kind of stuff. Unless you're getting like real nice ones, like it's like I understand getting like a warming lubricant from a nice company, but I worry about whatever they're putting on the outside of those, you know, Trojans.
the gas station ones.
Yeah. Maybe they're putting that, what is it called? Like spider veins in it.
Spider veins?
A horse hair.
You mean like horny goat weed?
Yeah, horny goat weed. That's what I was thinking
Or
of.
Spanish fly?
Yes.
Spider veins?
That's what I was thinking
Gross.
of. Yeah, put the veins on it.
Gross.
Because the blood is flowing.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Spider veins is not a sexy term.
Ooh, yeah, my veins are pulsing for ya.
I do consider sometimes if I'd ever, I have a bunch of spider veins.
Oh, I've had them stripped from my leg, girl. I'll talk to you about spider veins all day.
All right, I'll hit you up after this.
We'll talk. Oh, don't worry, guys. The electrifying conversation of Jackie and Natalie talking about spider veins.
Yeah, baby. Well, apparently they put it on condoms.
Yeah, dude. It gets you horned up. If you just give it a try, one person's trash is another person's treasure.
That's true. So Hunt watches Jesiba as all of these truths are revealed in front of everyone. He wonders if this has something to do with why she defected from the witch clan. That who is Jesiba? Why does she have these books?
Why is she so beautiful?
No, he only has eyes for Bryce. As Micah continues to taunt Bryce with his knowledge, Jesiba finally speaks up inside the summit room. She begs the Fae boys to save the books. Anger sparks through Hunt at the disregard for Bryce that had just been displayed from her boss.
Let's be real, though. Did we ever expect Jesiba to throw herself down on the ground to protect another person?
Not that what we know of her so far.
Not so far. That's what I'm saying. So
But
far.
we don't know everything about what's going on. It could be a much bigger picture happening.
You're right. Why did she
And also,
leave?
if you don't save the books, you can't get the stickers to get a personal pan pizza for free.
Oh my God. Book it. Give me that deep dish pizza.
So I get why she wants to save
Right,
the
because
books.
weren't the personal pan pizzas? Yeah, they were like a thick crust.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they had the crispy cheese edge.
If you were a child of the 90s, Pizza Huts used to be sit-down restaurants. It was a fancy go-out for us.
Please start paying me in pizza to read again.
I mean, I absolutely would do that.
I'd do it for a slice. I'll read a book for a slice. You give me free pizza, I'll do almost anything.
Please, sir, book for a slice.
A full slice? It just tastes better. It tastes better when you get it for free.
And you read books and you learned.
And isn't that nice?
I mean, that was a fun-ass collab. I get they probably wouldn't do it nowadays, but...
I know, or I guess they'd have to do it with, like, carrots. Oh, you get carrots. Like, fuck off.
Nobody's reading a book for carrots.
What am I, a horse?
Sorry.
Although I would be really cute as a horse. I look pretty cute as a lion, so...
You would be a cute horse.
Hey. I'll work on
like
it.
A Scottish horse.
I'll work on it.
Hey.
There's something wrong with that horse.
Horse.
Well, now it's just a snapshot of what Jackie does when she's by herself. Make sounds until I laugh.
They all watch as Bryce sets down the wine and cheese in front of Micah that she's procured for him. And then, hands behind her back, frantically points towards the stairs at Leheba and Syrinx, imploring them to run because there's a bunch of cameras so they can see her back too in these moments. So they're all watching her basically hand beg Syrinx to leave. But they don't leave. They won't go.
I'll never leave you,
Thank
Bryce.
you.
I didn't even know you ripped my wings off.
Do you think
never
that's why?
leave you.
Maybe
Yes.
she cut them off.
Yeah, so that I can't leave her. And it would make sense that Bryce would do that.
Oh my God. Have you ever seen video of a queen ant ripping her own wings off? It's crazy.
No.
She has to fly to like make her new what are they called? Hill? Nest.
No.
You know how they have, like, or no.
Clubhouse?
You know, like, their queen ant is, like, doesn't, like, move. She, like, stays inside.
Yeah, and then they bring her everything.
She makes her flight, and then she rips her own wings off and then walks into this place she's just gonna, like, live forever.
Bro, that's pretty awesome. Oh, man, if I had had wings, I would have ripped them off when I got married to Jeff. I said, I'll take the sky away from me just for your love, baby. I would not. I would actually add extra wings just so I could fly farther, faster, but also I could hold him in my arms while I did it.
Please make me a bird.
I can fly far away from that.
Wait, do ants and bees have a queen?
Yeah.
I didn't ever thought about that before.
Oh, yeah. I was about to be like, I imagine multiple. I know nothing. I know nothing about insects. I can't even pretend. I can't even try to make a joke.
No.
I mean, you know how I found out what night crawlers were, and that was from Worms Massage, and that makes me wanna die a beautiful death.
Queen ant for sale.
Whoa, no thank you.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so yeah, that is like a bee where the ant queen is like huger than all of the other ants.
Yes.
Anyway, back to this.
Back to that.
So she's imploring them to leave, and Bryce then employs what sometimes we women do to get out of a scary situation is to flirt with somebody
Use what you
in a
got.
way that you don't want to.
Yes.
But you have to find an exit out of where you are. So
use what you got.
yeah. So she tries this with Micah, hoping to distract him for a time, asking if he's there to just ask her out again, and bats her eyelashes.
I will say don't do that to get out of a ticket, but I will say highly encourage pretending like you have to shit very, very badly.
Oh, sure.
I have gotten out of 2 tickets this way, that I was speeding and I was driving erratically because I really had to shit.
But
and
was
I
that
cried.
truth?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I was told, my dad told me that he's like, that's a good way. So I'm letting everybody know. If also, they might just give you the ticket anyway and not give a shit. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure there are bad cops out there.
Why were you driving erratically, Jackie?
Because I'm fun.
Oh, okay. You're being a fun girl.
Yeah, I was being a fucking fun time. And yeah, maybe I don't have patience to use the turn signals. Actually, that's not true. I always use my turn signals, and I get very annoyed when people don't.
I become so enraged.
Yes.
Like Karen-like.
Yes, but I will say living in Los Angeles has made me a bit of an I don't know how to describe it, an unwieldy driver. I kind of throw caution to the wind sometimes.
See, I go the opposite direction to show everybody how good of a driver I am, and go like, oh, you sad people.
You shouldn't be doing that. Yes, I do understand that. I do. I used to feel that way, but then you gotta let it all go.
Like, let me be clear. What I'm doing is also obnoxious.
Yeah, no, it does honestly also remind me of my father, who used to, when he always loved to go like 10 miles under the speed limit, especially when someone was getting really angry because he was going slowly.
Oh, I mean, that is also not advice. I used to also drive on highways by myself all the time, like long distance, and I would end up getting into those interactions on the highway. Please don't do that.
Don't. Not in this day and age. We can't do that shit anymore.
No, I mean, people are absolutely insane. Don't brake check people, please.
No, don't
Everyone's
do it.
got guns. There's so much crazy road rage
Don't
happening.
trust anyone.
No, just don't, please.
But,
Let them be a prick and like get out of their way.
Say that to me when I'm behind the wheel, just like, no, Sarah! And I'm like,
No,
but I
I
don't
know.
roll down the windows.
Please don't.
You don't roll down the windows.
So she tried this flirt tactic, but he's not buying it this time. He tells her to sit down. He wants to have a talk, and they should at least be civilized for this conversation. She asks him what this is all about. He replies with, "You giving me Luna's horn." What now?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? My God, you're being a real dumb angel right now. That's what I would say. And this is why Bryce is much better with her mouth than I am. You're being dumb angel.
Yeah, that's not a good way to respond to that,
No,
probably.
I'm not very good with quippy comebacks.
I don't mean quippy, I just mean safety-wise.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean that too. Yes.
So we've returned to Bryce's POV in the same moment at chapter 77. And she's wondering if Jesiba was able to see the messages, if she can see what's happening. So she's not even aware that Jesiba has patched them into this. As far as we, the reader, knows, Bryce doesn't know where the horn is. And so him saying, "Give me the luminous horn," is confusing.
It's very confusing.
Micah doesn't seem to believe that Bryce doesn't know where the horn is, as she says. And rapidly, his anger is rising to the surface. He leans in from where he's seated across from her and tells her that he thinks that she actually has figured out where Luna's horn is a couple days ago. When Bryce says that she's flattered that he thinks she's that smart, he says, "You're not, but Danica was."
What?
So we're getting as the reader are getting the reveal that Bryce has figured out where Luna's horn is, essentially.
And she didn't even tell us.
She didn't even tell us. So what's happening? With terror building in Bryce, Micah reveals that she and Hunt had been right, that synth does work on the horn. Bryce maintains her composure, telling him she doesn't know what he's talking about. And if he wants to arrest her, he needs to get a warrant. But angels do what angels do.
You're right.
And as she gets up to walk towards the stairs, he stops her with a hand gripping her shirt. "Do not lie." We cut over to Hunt's POV.
I'm sorry. I'm just making just a scared face over here because it's a lot, and I'm trying to not interrupt you because this is a lot. So I'm trying to let you get through it. You know what I mean?
And that is her in that moment. Again, her trying to act more nonchalant than she's feeling so that she doesn't kind of escalate the situation. And so she's kind of trying to play casual, being like, "Listen, I don't know what you're doing, but get a warrant or whatever if this is a thing." Inside, she's terrified and panicking.
Of course.
But so she gets up to try to just play it off as though she's just going to walk away. And that's when he grabs her. We cut over to Hunt's panic as this is happening. Despite knowing the consequences, he attempts to run out of the room. Sandriel, using her wind, presses him back into the wall with a single thought and also kind of pushes the wind down his throat so he can't speak or scream or anything. So he's forced, unable to move. Watch Micah on the screen as he runs his hands down Bryce's body.
Bryce wasn't stupid enough to try to run as Micah ran his fingers back up her spine, intent in every stroke. Hunt's jaw clenched so hard it hurt, his breath coming out in great, bellowing pants. He'd kill him. He'd find a way to get free of Sandriel and fucking kill Micah for that touch.
So he shouldn't be touching her.
No.
So what is this about? Bryce continues to play dumb, and Micah challenges her, asking her just why did she so happen to get attacked by a crystallos within the hour of the Archesian amulet being melted off of her from Sandriel? She's like, "Me not know."
She keeps making the Tim Allen grunts, and Micah's not getting the reference. And I feel like at this point she should be like, I'm sorry, I've been doing the Tim Allen grunts this entire time, and you're really not giving me big ups for doing so well with my grunting. But I guess that's a sidebar in this part that we don't get.
It could have been a good distraction. I think you could have brought it up.
God, see, maybe I would be great in this situation.
Yeah, I think so. So he's, of course, referencing whenever she was across from the bone gate, the bone quarter, whenever the crystallos appeared right after the interactions in the lobby. His irritation is rising at her feigned ignorance as though he can see through the act. He reveals that she figured it out that day, that she doesn't have the horn. She is the horn.
Bum, bum, bum. What? But wait, it was in the museum. But wait, how?
Me?
What?
So, yes, We learn in this moment that the horn is in Bryce, that Danica had ground it down and had it tattooed into the tattoo that she got on her back with Danica that day when they were drunk, which is you should never do that when you're drunk.
Whoa. I was just looking to see because it was like, man, it must have really fucked with the tattoo with the Luna's horn in it. Because
What did you look up?
I did look up how to put cremation ashes into a tattoo because I feel like that is as close to like a weird thing that you would put into a tattoo that you would get tattooed into your body. And you can actually do that.
Yeah.
It does make it, I was trying to see like what it does and if it makes like the tattoo look a specific way because it's got human remains in it. But I guess it doesn't. So there you go.
It seems, I don't know. I wonder if that really is safe. I have no idea.
It says it's apparently completely safe. It's not unhygienic, and it just makes the ink a little bit chalky.
Well, in this case with the horn, they're also using witch ink. So
yeah,
a lot of elements are going on here.
Oh, right. Oh, I guess they have their witch ink. So they can do all their special things with their witch ink.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate being a human.
I do too. So yes, we have learned that Danica ground this down into the back tattoo. Hunt's stomach drops. He doesn't know this. And we're watching obviously from the summit room at this point. Fury is also there, if you'll recall, and who is watching all of this also shouts out, clearly unaware of this revelation, because you never know with these gals. They hide a lot of stuff from Bryce.
Yes, you're right.
But Fury seems shocked that this is where the horn is. He further reveals that her tattoo doesn't say through love all is possible, that it's the equivalent of a spell in an ancient universal language.
But also, Micah, why are you so obsessed with me? It's like, get a fucking hobby. I don't know what you need to do. Like, maybe you need to take up, like, canning or something. Become a pickle angel or something. I just feel like you've got too much fucking time on your hands.
Well, he has dastardly plans. So, throughout all this, they are watching Micah still holding on to Bryce possessively, telling her he theorizes that when he channels his power through her tattoo, that it will awaken the horn's magic.
You better not, Micah.
It sounds not good.
Nah.
So she's like, nah, and she reverse headbutts him. I don't know how you call that.
Nah.
She does a backwards
Backheads him? Yeah.
I did a stunt sequence that had that in it.
Ooh, how do you do it properly?
Well, you have to fake it through. Well, you start, so you have to do several takes.
Because I know when you hit someone in the head, you're supposed to aim for the bridge of the nose, right?
In real world, but you definitely won't do that in the stunt.
No, not in the stunt world. I meant I'm not asking safely. I just surprise. I've never headbutted anybody before.
Always go for anything with the softest cartilage or
the neck,
eyeballs. You want to go for the things that are like kind of scary to go for, like soft parts. If you want to get away from somebody.
All right, I love this. Thank you, Natalie.
Yeah. So she headbutts him, but like, I gotta say, Bryce, you're just kind of lucky that he didn't just shatter your skull. He's an archangel.
Yeah, he doesn't
not a good
need
plan.
you alive. You know what I mean?
But I just mean like her doing a headbutt. He's probably made out of what's the equivalent of platinum steel. Like, you're just lucky your head didn't just shatter into 1,000 pieces when you did that.
Yeah.
It's not a good plan.
Nah, dude.
Bryce, you haven't even made the drop yet. Me?
Yeah, think about it, Natalie. Bryce?
Sheesh. Predictably, it doesn't drop Micah at all. It only pisses him off.
And with a shove, her shirt ripping down the back, Micah hurled her to the floor. Hunt's shout was lodged in his throat, but runes echoed through the conference room as Bryce skidded across the carpet.
Oh! She screams at Lehiba and Syrinx to run as Hunt watches in horror.
We want to save you, Bryce!
They won't leave. They haven't left. We then get a montage of Micah absolutely beating the crap out of Bryce. It's very upsetting. He is throwing her all over the place and really hurting her body. It reminds me a lot of the scene at the end of Court of Thorns and Roses.
Stop.
You know,
Stop.
Hunt hears Rune panicked, saying Micah is going to kill her. He screams, asking where the fucking ox is because he had called for them to show up. On the feed, Bryce seems to realize that Micah was the one who killed the pack of devils that night, not Danica.
Micah smiled.
I enjoyed every second of it.
The conference room shook. Or maybe that was just Hunt himself.
They all watch as Bryce still tries to crawl towards the stairs up to the main level. She can't run anymore. He's shattered at least one bone in her leg. It's sticking out. So she's not in good shape.
Lehabad crept to the metal bathroom door in the back of the library and managed to open it, as if silently signaling Bryce to get there, so they could lock themselves inside until help arrived.
Bryce is not able to keep her composure anymore. She is obviously very injured. She is filled with pain and grief, and she cries, asking why he killed them. Micah, unfazed, asks her why she didn't do her research enough to know that he was an investor in Redner Industries.
I mean, it does make sense because they do have to invest their money somewhere, because they do have to make them more money in the long run.
Oh, they do?
I would assume, they got to make sure that it's like, what is Micah's retirement? Like, you got to make sure.
Oh,
that
yeah,
he's
I'm worried about Micah.
I'm worried about his 401k,
Yeah.
and I think that he should be, like, he's got to be doing these things.
Oh, sure.
I said just now you needed a hobby.
I think more government officials should be billionaires.
Yeah, especially investing in tech companies.
Yeah, I think that's
so
great.
that I think it's great. So that
I
they can
love
all
that.
control us. I think this makes so much sense.
It's really cool, and I love that he did it.
It actually really upsets me that so much in this world is
happening?
different from, separate. That's what I mean. And that so many things kind of align with this world, and that this is like just a true evil that they're going against. But it's like also happening in our reality. It's like kind of.
Well, where's our Hunt Athalar?
Where is he? Ride the lightning to me, babe.
So he goes on to explain, shaking with rage, that Danica was employed with Rednar for more than just security. That she had been sent out to dispose of some rebels who had learned about the experiments that Micah had invested in Rednar Industries, that had created synth and had stolen some. So he is revealing his evil plot right now as she's about to die, as villains do.
Yes, but especially when the villains don't know that everybody that's anybody is watching a video of it happening.
Yeah. So it's just like the end scene in Cruel Intentions.
Oh my God, I was just thinking about Cruel Intentions now.
I love that movie.
Yes, I love that movie.
So I'm rehashing this because it helped me figure this story out.
Thank you. Yes, thank you for re-explaining this, because it definitely made a lot more sense in the second read through, because the first time I was just like, there's a lot, there's so much, it's so much happening in this chapter, by the way.
And like obviously the overarching concept is that Micah is the badman.
Yes.
But he is telling her he is an investor in Redner Industries, which is the place that Danica did part-time security for. But he is saying also she did more dirty work. Like, she's supposed to do more dirty work for Redner Industries. And because they were experimenting with this thing that gives people power, the rebels found out about it somehow and got to steal some. So she was supposed to kind of dispose of those people. And her duties, when she came across the synth from the rebels, she learned about the drug they were building. And she also came across the trial videos and planned to stop it. So Danica saw what Redner Industries was doing with Micah and saw how evil it was. Because remember the videos that they also watched,
yeah, with just like there's so many people getting ripped to shreds. And Veneer getting ripped to shreds.
And that's what she left in her jacket for Bryce to find. So she decided she was going to stop it. But Micah and Redner were in cahoots the whole time. In fact, even though she didn't know Micah was involved, she was just trying to stop Redner. And Micah was actually even lying to the Asteri, who would have never allowed a superpower drug to have been created for the veneer. So Micah's even going over the heads of the Asteri to make this drug.
And that's no good.
No. So the way that they got around this with the Asteri is that Redner Industries played it off as if it were a drug for healing quickly, but Micah wanted it for his own nefarious deeds. Then, in order to get Danica off the case from stopping this to happen, he planted a bunch of synth on the streets. And so he basically, in order to kind of corner Danica, he's playing 40 chess here. He dumps all of the synth into the streets. And he knew that now that Danica knew the dangers of it, that she would try to go save the day with all the plebes getting hooked on it in the streets. She would try to get it off the streets. And so he basically set her up to be on that synth boat the night when she was discovered. And he came in and said, "Oh, wow, looks like you're buying drugs. Wouldn't want people to think about that. Think that about you, right? You're a little party girl, aren't you? They'd have to take your word over mine. I saw you selling drugs on this boat."
I just feel like if Micah had gotten into like bonsai trees, or like painting mini figurines, like think of how good he'd be at it. And it's like if you could just take a little bit of that time and put it into the arts, Micah.
No, see, they're all mad at their dads. And
I understand.
They
but it's
can't
like,
deal with their emotions. And
Yeah.
so they can't do that because that would involve healing. and
Go to therapy, Micah.
Too little, too late. So he got her cornered on that boat and basically said, "Well, if you don't want me to tell everybody that you're the dealer of synth on the streets, you just have to do me one little favor. Get me the horn. Steal the horn, that is. Luna's horn." And because she felt cornered, she agreed to do it. But Micah figures now that she was already hip to his deeds with Redner.
Okay.
So when she stole, she said, "Okay, I'll steal the horn for you so you don't tell people I'm dealing synth." But she already knew he was up to no good. And so when she stole the horn from him, instead of returning it and bringing it to him, she hid it from him.
Which makes a lot of sense because then, at least she knows that if he's going to do anything bad, he can't get a hold of it.
Yes. Exactly, to prevent him from getting his hands on it, whatever his plans were. And apparently, when she hid it, she put it into Bryce's back, seemingly knowing that she was probably about to die. So Danica did this with Bryce, knowing that she was going to be killed, and she wanted to save it and knew that Bryce would be able to protect it.
Think of how much Bryce has to process. And this is just like another thing on the pile of like, okay, I also have to, like, she already had so many trust issues with Danica. And obviously this allays a good amount of them. But even thinking of that, of putting something into my body that you didn't tell me about. I know she doesn't have time, like, right now to be upset about these
femur
things,
is
but
sticking out of her leg.
yeah, I guess she's got other things to deal with.
No, it's
but also
true.
her trust, Natalie.
No, it's true. But in other ways, it's better because Danica wasn't bad. She wasn't evil. She wasn't dealing synth on the streets, which is what Bryce thought maybe had happened. And also, I think you could look at it in the perspective of Danica knew that Bryce was a powerful warrior and probably knew something about her, knowing that her having the horn in her body was like her fate or whatever.
Right.
So Danica, gets the sense she's going to die. So in telling this all to Bryce as she's bleeding out on the floor, he's trying to spin it, even in his own story, that he needed the horn because he wanted to save his people from the human rebellion. But he quickly...
You know that the humans were going to be... Like, that's such bullshit.
Right.
Bullshit.
And then he was just immediately bested by his own ego. And he reveals to Bryce that, in fact, his goal is actually... He wants to use the horn to open a portal into another world.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like saving your people. Okay.
Yeah, almost like going to Mars or something.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway, so he wants to leash the powers from this other portal to destroy the human rebellion. And then with that level of power, and basically offer himself as the seventh Asteri, because as you recall, there's an open chair on this because one of the Asteris was killed.
Fucking narcissist much? It's like, you really think it's like, yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do. I mean, obviously, I should be the seventh Asteri. Yeah.
Get the monsters.
Yeah, take all the monsters, put them in my monster, and then be
Everybody's
a big
gonna say,
Asteri.
wow, Mike, you're so cool.
Wow, you killed all those humans. It's just, oh my God. You're like, even your lies, I do not take them for a moment, Micah.
No.
You should have thought about this. You had all this time to plan. I guess he didn't need to think about his villain's monologue because he probably didn't expect it to be broadcast to the summit.
It's true. Actually, that's more like the end of Jawbreaker, maybe, than Cruel Intentions.
Ooh, okay.
Because they project audio at the end of that.
Right.
I killed the teen dream.
Right. Oh my God. Spoiler.
Spoiler to a 30-year-old
movie.
Fucking great movie.
God, it is good.
So now he's revealed, I'm just casually trying to become the seventh Hysteria, whatever. And even though Bryce is like, that's not how they're not like they just exist. Like you don't become an Hysteria.
Yeah.
But he figures his power will be so amazing that the Hysteria will be like, oh, please, Micah, be one of us. And they'll recognize him as an equal, which will never happen.
No.
When he couldn't find the horn, he waited until Philip Briggs was released because he knew Danica had done something to it that was like, underhanded in his mind.
Yeah.
And so he decides he's going to create a patsy. He waits until Philip Briggs is released because he has an agenda against Danica. Technically, she arrested him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was going to use him as a patsy for all of the pack being murdered. And when he confronts Danica, and she won't tell him where it is that night, night where Danica seems to say goodbye to Bryce. Remember, she says, I love you.
Right.
She knew she was going to die. She knew Micah was coming for her. And so Micah would not give up where the horn was in that evening. And so he cornered her, forced the synth into her body, and watched as she ripped them all to pieces. He knew that Bryce would eventually lead him to what he wanted because of their precious love.
Oh my God.
He even planted the idea in the Autumn King that he needed the horn, which is, again, we're watching this through Hunt's perspective, and he sees Rune interact with his dad, disgusted, saying that he was played like a fiddle. Because the Autumn King did think he wanted the horn because Micah planted the idea in his head.
Right.
And he knew that Bryce would then be helpful because she was Danica's closest confidant.
It's like 18D chess.
Mm-hmm. Congratulations, you just got played, Daddy.
Yeah, you're not the smartest daddy to ever daddy, damn it.
Goodbye.
Come on.
So Rune also in this moment, he is piecing together everything they're learning, and he realizes when he was being sent out to find the horn, he always had this urge to go to Bryce because, of course, he's the Starborn Prince who also has a connection to the horn. And so he's realizing that. He thought maybe there was something hidden in Griffin, but he realizes now it was Bryce he was being drawn to when looking for the horn.
Oh my God, it's just like Jacob and Bella's eggs.
No, it's not.
In Twilight, it's just like
No, it's not.
He's drawn to her eggs.
No, it's not. How dare you? He sends these thoughts to Hunt via Mind Freak. I don't know why I put that there.
Whoa, okay. Well, because we're always dreaming about going back to see Mind Freak again. Yes.
That's true.
We are Chris Angel stands in this house. Thank you.
I mean, I think as a human, he's supposed to be like a badman.
Yeah.
But the magic's cool.
Yeah. Well, the show is fun.
It's not cool, but it was fun. So the reason I think I wrote that is because they're having this discussion
in their mind. Yes.
In their minds.
Yeah,
they're
that
not
is a mind
talking
freak.
about it out loud. So Rune is telling Hunt all of this stuff about feeling drawn to Bryce in those moments looking for the horn. Hunt, in mind speak, responds back that the Archesian...
Maybe that's what it is. Mind speak.
Mind speak! That the Archesian amulet was helping to mask the call of the horn, but that his starborn power and being her brother, he was still able to like feel it somewhat through the Archesian amulet. So we
I
also
love
learned
sibling power.
Sib power. So
All right, I'm talking to Henry right now. I'll find out if he hears it. I'll ask later.
was it just you insulting him?
Yeah. Like, fatty, piggy brother. So if he heard that, he'll know it's me.
Yeah. So
I don't think it would be our other sister.
yeah, I don't
it would
think
be
your
very
other sister
weird.
would do that. No, that would be weird.
Hey, piggy.
So we also kind of learn in this scene that the Archesian amulet is sort of like a mask for the horn
power.
Yeah. So the Archesian amulet is protecting her on a couple levels, it seems like, which is exactly why when the Archesian amulet was gone, the Crystallos found her, because the Crystallos is attracted to it.
To the horn.
He goes on through this speech to close all of the rest of the loose ends of this mystery. How he
I'll also
involved
say this. I did the first time reading this. I had to read these chapters 2 or 3 times. Like I was very much like, okay, SJM, I'm with you, and then I'm like, okay, wait, what? And then I go back, like, okay. So thank you very much for putting this out beat by beat.
I mean, it helps me. So like Micah set up all of this stuff happening, the murders, the bombings, all in a ploy to find the horn, to set up this like trap for everything. Hunt realizes that in this moment, Micah's perceived benevolence in offering him an out in this bargain about just a couple more deaths was all a lie. Micah would have just killed him at the end.
Yeah.
Hunt curses.
But of course, I say yeah, like you should know that, Hunt, but it's like, no, man, the hope inside of a person can really drown out a lot, and just thinking of the hope of not being a slave anymore.
Well, but also just the mask of Micah wearing him being, yeah, he's a prick, but Sandriel was a monster.
Right.
Micah seemed like he was a reasonable,
more normal one.
Yeah, and so he was actually hiding his true self.
His true colors shining through.
More like farting through.
Hell yeah, Natalie. You fucking get him.
So
Get his ass.
So
he's gonna wish he had opened up that portal into the other power planet so that he wouldn't be here to hear that burn.
So Hunt curses himself for never checking that tattoo shop, because of course they went and retraced all their steps, but the tattoo experience with Bryce, they didn't even think about it because Bryce was there. She didn't know anything of, like, there was no reason. There was no reason to go there.
Also, I would assume, I guess, if I thought like something magical was being tattooed into my body, like I feel like you'd feel a difference with it going in. Like I feel like
she was drunk.
And maybe that's why you don't get drunk.
You never know if they're going to put magic in your tattoo.
They might be putting magic in you. And maybe you'll be there begging for them to put magic in you. And maybe they won't, and they'll kick you out because you're drunk at a tattoo shop.
And they'll say, lady, what are you talking about?
You gotta get out of here.
So, it didn't seem relevant at the time to go check the tattoo shop, but obviously they could have, and it might have given them some clarity on it. On and on, he reveals his dastardly plan. In the summit room, Sabine, a bit stunned, comments that Bryce is doing this to get a full confession out of him in case Jesiba was able to have connected.
Yeah, thanks, Sabine.
Yeah, fuck you, Sabine. I don't need any of your lip right now.
Yeah, nothing. I don't need to hear anything from you ever.
They watch as Micah pulls out a syringe, announcing to Bryce that he is going to inject her with synth, and he is going to open that damn portal. And that she will die in the process. Sorry, not sorry,
but also I don't want to be this guy, but like it is kind of a cool way to go out. You know, like being like so powerful and then used in your body to open up a port. Like if Micah was great, we'd be like, whoa, that's awesome.
It is cool, but then it's like, it's hard to know that your body's going to be used to open a doorway to a bunch of demons, like let loose on your family.
And you're want to take all the demons' power, and I'd be like, oh, maybe don't do that. Like if you're going to open up a portal to like find the dimension's best bagels. You know, like I'm all aboard that bagel train.
Oh, I'm hungry. Let's not talk about food right now.
I'll start talking about bagels.
So she's obviously beside herself with grief and sadness, and she's crying. Bryce is trying to pull herself away from him this whole time, trying to drag herself towards the staircase. But with her broken bones, there's no way for her to fight him off.
Yikes.
He stabs the needle into her leg and drains it. She screams, but there's no undoing what's been done. It is now in her body. They all watch in horror as Bryce slumps over, and her wounds begin to heal rapidly. The broken protruding bone begins to heal as well, but not as quickly as the more superficial lacerations. So it seems as though Micah's kind of watching the clock to see, you know, it's usually timed if you recall the trials. It didn't happen right away.
Heal them up and then burn them out.
So he's waiting. And during that wait, he advances on her slumped over body, but she quickly pulls an Addams Family.
Oh.
She grabs one of the magic books and flips it open. A blinding light pouring out of it. I think we have made like 20 movie references today. Jesus Christ.
There's a lot of plot happening. I think it's just making us remember a lot of things going on, you know?
So she opens, this blinding light comes out of this book. And it does at least give him a moment of temporary. So she was faking being slumped over. And she was going to go like, ha! And she like pulled the book open. And it does slow him.
She's a pervert. I like the way that you're opening up like you've got a trench coat on and you're being like like, whoa! You naked under there.
How else do you open a book with sunlight? How else? So he is temporarily slowed down and he's pushing against it. It's not hurting him or anything, but he's not quite getting attacked by it. And he's not super pressed about it. Very well,
Micah said, that smile remaining as he again tested the golden barrier.
There are other ways to get you to yield.
Bryce was shaking in her golden bubble. Hunt's heart stopped as Micah strode down the mezzanine steps, heading straight for where Syrinx cowered behind the couch.
No.
Bryce breathed.
No! She drops her book, weapon. But Micah now is pissed. He takes the struggling Syrinx and holds him by the scruff. Oh, don't. This is making me sad. Makes me think of Carmi.
Oh, God, I am Carmi. Although I would be eating, none of this liquid, nothing would be in here if I were Carmi.
It's true.
She just eats it right up.
She does. So Micah takes Syrinx by the scruff.
I'll keep doing it. I'm
drags
sorry.
Him over. Drags him over to the massive knock tank. Bryce screams and screams and is pleading with him to stop.
But Micah didn't even falter as he opened the door to the small stairs that led to the top of the Nox tank. Bryce's screaming was unending. Declan switched the feed over to the camera atop the tank, just as Micah flipped open the feeding hatch and threw Syrinx into the water.
No!
You're a bitch for ending it here. And yeah, I said it, Natalie. Sorry, not sorry. You're a bitch.
Yeah, you're in a tank.
Natalie, please.
Wow, this is like old-timey radio.
Yeah, I am here to bring the environment, all right? I want to keep you scared. We're keeping you on a cliffhanger here. What am I going to do? Will I survive? Is that Morse code?
I think it was.
Do you need to be saved?
I think it was horse hoof.
Horse code.
Horse code, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.